My name is Noah. I am in 5th grade. My question is, does gravity affect your height while in space and when back on Earth?
Hello. First of all, I'm so excited to be with you all today, answer a few of your questions. As for your question, it is true that being in space actually can affect our height. So while we are up here, our spines, on Earth our spines are curved, but up here our spines start to straighten out a bit, and so that makes us grow a little bit taller. But then as soon as we get back to Earth, we compress back to normal, so we're back to our normal height.
My name is Evie and I am in 6th grade. My question is, can you describe what the force of takeoff feels like?
Yeah, sure thing. So launch was just absolutely amazing. This is my first space flight, my first time in space, and so it was my first launch. So I was really looking forward to it, and it definitely did not disappoint. On the launch pad, we are sitting there, we're waiting for a while to get the vehicle ready, and then we get down to the point where there's the 10-second countdown, and we get down to 1, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then there's this pause where you can kind of just feel the weight of the rocket and what's about to happen. And then after that, you're off to the races. You can feel the rocket underneath you, propelling you upwards, moving faster and faster, and you're kind of holding on to your seat. And then before you know it, the gravity that is coming into your chest all just gets released at once, and you are just floating. So you go from several amounts of gravity into your chest to just being totally free floating, and that juxtaposition is pretty awesome. It was quite a ride.
My name's Alana, and I'm in 3rd grade. My question is, how long does a fidget spinner spin in space without gravity?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Alana. So we actually have a fidget spinner up here, so we can do a little experiment and find out ourselves. So I think that the answer is going to be that it is going to continue as long as we don't touch it or let anything else touch it.
Hi, my name is Kaveen, and I am in 5th grade. My question is, how do you know when to sleep in space?
Yeah, it's a really good question because ultimately we don't have the same cues that you all use on the ground that we all use to know when it is time for bed. It is night and day here 16 times a day. So we orbit the Earth and get 16 sunrises and sunsets every day. So if we used that to determine when we were going to sleep, we'd be sleeping all the time. So instead, we have basically kind of picked a time zone. So we are in Greenwich Mean Time, and that is the time that we have our whole day scheduled around, and the time that all of the ground team who is working with us to help us out through our day, they are all working on that time period too. And so our day gets scheduled with all of our different scientific and maintenance activities, and then at the end of the day, we go to bed around 9 or 10 p.m. Greenwich time.
Hi, my name is Yusuf, and I'm in 5th grade. My question is, how are the phases of the moon different on space than on Earth?
Yeah, the phases of the moon are just as awesome from space as they are from Earth. And one of the coolest things about being able to see the moon from here that I really think is really interesting and really fun is being able to see the moon as a sphere. So when you look up in the night sky from Earth, it kind of looks like a circle, right? That's kind of taped onto the sky, if you will. But from here, you can really see that it is a full circular spherical body, and that the shadows that create the different phases of the moon, that those are you can actually see the shadow on the moon itself that create the phases. So it is pretty neat to be able to see the moon from this vantage point.
My name is Ryan, and I'm in 6th grade, and my question is, have you ever seen an asteroid from the space station?
So luckily for us, we have not seen a full asteroid from the space station. That would be pretty scary to see one of those up close while we're up here in orbit. But part of the reason that we haven't seen that is because we have a whole team of people on the ground who are looking out for us. They are making sure that there are no pieces of debris, so very small asteroids, that are have some possibility of making contact with our pathway. So if they see that some piece of debris is on a similar trajectory to us, then we can just move the station out of the way. So we can fire up our thrusters and move ourselves into a different orbit so that we don't collide. So luckily for us, we have not had any issues with any asteroids while we've been up here.
My name is Anel, and I am in 3rd grade, and my question is, what is the funniest thing that's happened on the space station?
That's a great question, and it's a hard one to answer because there are lots of funny things that happen every day up here. We are so lucky that we get to fly with such amazing people. Myself, I get to fly with my Crew 4 crewmates up here, as well as our Expedition 67 colleagues in the Russian segment. And we just have a great time together, hanging out and enjoying laughing together. But one thing that was particularly funny was right when we arrived. It was our 2nd week on board the space station. The toilet broke. And so we had to go in and fix the toilet and learn how to be space plumbers right out of the gate. So that was pretty funny and also eventually successful, which is really important.
My name is Landon, and I'm in the 4th grade. My question is, does it ever get windy in space?
Yeah, so it doesn't get windy in the way that you are thinking about wind, probably, because there aren't enough air molecules up here to create wind in space. However, the type of wind that we do experience is solar wind. So that is basically excited electrons that shoot out from the sun. And the interaction of that solar wind with the magnetic, the Earth's magnetic field creates what we call the aurora borealis, or the northern or southern lights. And up here, even just recently this week, we were able to see some absolutely gorgeous aurora. You see all of these kind of greens and magenta colors, and they just dance around you, kind of move around the atmosphere of the Earth. So being able to watch that from our windows is just amazing.
My name is Jackson, and I am in 4th grade. What do fireworks on Earth look like from space?
So we were up here for the 4th of July, and we were hoping that we might be able to get to see some fireworks. But the problem is the fireworks have to be really, really big in order for us to be able to catch a glimpse of them from the International Space Station. So we didn't end up seeing any on the 4th of July. But what we do get is almost every day, or at least once a week, we get fireworks shows of our own. As we're passing over Earth, if it is a night pass, so if it's dark outside and that particular area over the Earth is experiencing a thunderstorm, we can see the lightning high up in the clouds coming down onto the surface. And so as we pass over, each of these kind of lightning storms produces what kind of looks like a fireworks show for us. So it is nature's fireworks are pretty amazing.
My name is Gabri, and I am in 3rd grade. My question is, how does studying science in space help us on Earth?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we do lots of science on board the International Space Station, and all of what we do up here has applications to help us people back on Earth. One example that comes to mind is a study that we worked on called immunosenescence, and it was looking at the effect of long-duration spaceflight on the immune system. We on Earth can experience aging of the immune system over time, and particularly with certain diseases. And so by being able to study those cells, those immune cells and their function and health in the microgravity environment, we're able to learn more about how those cells function and how what pathways we might be able to find to treat that type of condition on Earth. So using the International Space Station as a laboratory where we can take that gravity as a variable out of the equation and really start to see different materials, different life forms even in a different light, allows us to understand them in a new way that has important applications on the ground.
Hi, my name is Rylan. I am in 4th grade. My question is, what is your favorite and least favorite space food?
So I would probably say that one of my favorite space foods I actually have here with me. So one of them is strawberries. So they come in a packet like this. You can see they're labeled strawberries, and they are all dry. And so we can stick the top of the container here into our water dispenser and dispense water in here, and that will rehydrate these strawberries, and they will be a very delicious snack for me a little bit later today. In terms of my least favorite food, it is not super dissimilar from my least favorite food on the ground, is most of the vegetables that we have up here. I think them being up here and being dehydrated just makes them a little bit less appetizing than having a nice, fresh, crispy vegetables. So I look forward to a nice salad when I get back.
My name is Seal. I am in 5th grade. My question is, how do you grow and water plants aboard the space station?
Yeah, so that is a big question that we've actually been working on answering here on the International Space Station for a while now. So there are different ways to grow and water plants, but one of the ways that we're looking into right now, actually with an experiment that's right here called X-Roots, is we're looking at how to grow crops, grow plants using hydroponics and aeroponics, so using water-based and aerosol-based means of having plant root growth. And this is especially important because that if we are able to crack this technology, that would allow us to grow plants without soil. And so that will have huge implications as we start thinking about going back to the moon and onto Mars, where we can't have too much weight and don't have a ton of space, as well as soil can be very dirty and can be hard to contain. And so that is an important technology that we're looking into for the future, as well as for again another application back on Earth, ways that we can grow crops in areas that maybe don't have fertile soil or means of accessing soil in a way that enables crop growth in that way.
My name is Atlas, and I am in 3rd grade. My question is, what does it look like when you look out the window at the space station?
Yeah, that is one of my favorite activities to do, is to look out the window of our space station. We have a gorgeous window called the cupola, and there are 7 different panes that we are able to look out and see the Earth from. And just watching the Earth go by, especially for me, I am a geologist, and so to be able to see places that I have done field work and places that I have been to on the ground and done work, to be able to see those from the orbital perspective that we have here on the ISS is just absolutely amazing. Earth is gorgeous.
Hello, my name is Sydney. I am in 4th grade. My question is, what foods do you miss having?
We are certainly lucky to have things like strawberries and other delicious items on board, but we definitely miss some of our home-cooked meals and some of our favorite foods from home. So certainly, all of the things that I'm sure are you all's favorite, pizza, burgers, burritos, things like that. We definitely are looking forward to when we get back.